What is up, guys? Welcome back to another Civic Restoration video. And in the last video, I was talking a little bit about how I'm gonna run my AC lines through the inner fender right here and onto these little couplings here. So in order to do that, I had to relocate my fuse box. So what I did was I basically unhooked the fuse box and then I shoved all of the wires into here. Some of the wires I fished out through right here. And that's basically just gonna be tucked up here. You do have to extend some of them, so I have to extend these three. And then moving into the car, I unhooked the glove box, and then there was actually like this black panel up here. And once you remove that, there's actually a lot of room, even with your HVAC stuff. Well, maybe not a lot, but there's a decent amount of room to mount the fuse box up. And I think I will be able to use my glove box still. I might have to trim it. Basically today, I'm gonna try to build some type of bracket to mount this fuse box in here. I've got some spare sheet aluminum, so we're gonna cut some stuff up and try to get something set up here. So I just came up with a simple L bracket, and I'm just gonna use some weather strip adhesive to kind of bond it on. And I think that should hold just fine. After this first bracket, I think I'm gonna try to come up with a second bracket. And then between the two, I think it'll be pretty sturdy. But now that we have this little, it's pretty simple, but at least I can get the measurements off of this piece of cardboard. And then we can cut some aluminum, bend it up, and it should be good. So we got our little piece. I'm gonna go bend it in the vise. Maybe smooth out the edges with a file a little bit. Okay, so I got the bracket all bolted on there. Looks pretty nice. I forgot to mention I actually had to hammer this piece. I bent it and then hammered it a few hits so it'll be flat. It was pointing up, just like this one. So now we're gonna see how this lines up. Yeah, so I'll mark that and then I'm gonna JB weld the bracket on there. Okay, so as you guys just saw, I had to clearance this part a little bit because it was not allowing the bracket to sit completely flush. So now with that clearance, the bracket can sit completely flush. I also kind of grinded up, roughened this up a little bit so that it would be a better surface to bond with the adhesive. So I think I'm gonna rough this part up real quick too. We'll clean both sides off and then we'll bond these together. Okay, so I started making a second bracket that would kind of glue on the same way the other bracket I made was, but it ended up being kind of weird because everything just wasn't lining up the way that the other side did. So here's what I ended up doing. I just built this simple bracket and it got a little messed up when I bent it, so I might end up redoing it, but for now it just kind of sits right on here, and I'll probably put a little bit of rubber along here, and it just provides a little bit of support so that when I'm driving down the road, if this is shaking around, it's pretty sturdy, as you can see. It does move a little bit, but between this one over here glued on and this one here just bolted, providing some support, I think it will be fine. And like I said, I'm gonna put some rubber here so it'll have some little insulation too. So the last thing I'm gonna do is just make sure everything plugs in, and then I guess I'll call it for today. And next week I will do the wiring. So as expected, all of the wiring fits fine. Let's see if I can get this up in there. Yeah, as you can see, there's plenty of room. Nothing's like binded up or anything like that. So the clearance here, if I go to the side, you can see the glove box will definitely work, but I'll probably have to modify it significantly. So I think I will take care of that later. For today, I'm just gonna call it a day. So like I said, next time we will be extending the wires. We also have to, these 3 wires right here. We also have to run all these wires, push them through back here, and then run them out the fender like the other side. So honestly, this fuse box was probably one of the hardest things because there's fabrication involved, which is definitely my weak point. I would say running some wires I got no problem with, so should have no problem knocking that out next weekend. See you guys in the next video.